And good afternoon. Welcome to another session of Tech20 Tuesday. My name is Jeff Whipple, and I'm a technology lead for ASDW here in the Fredericton Education Center. Nice to see some of you joining us again this afternoon. So, where did January go? Boy, I tell you, we're busy, and report cards will again soon be rolling around. It seems like it's a never-ending cycle, and I know that in your classrooms right now you're all busy getting lots and lots of assessment done, and of course the buzzword now in this day and age is formative assessment, and we're trying to find a lot of new ways to do that, what it looks like and how we do that. But today I wanted to take a chance and show you a couple of really quick and easy little digital tools that we can use in our classrooms to carry out some quick and easy formative assessment. Just give us a chance to take a snapshot of where our students are, and of course the big key comes is not just capturing that little bit of information every day, but how it informs what we do in our classrooms in terms of practice. So we'll take a look at a few things today, and we'll go from there. So today I sort of chose three tools that I wanted to talk about, and we've talked about all of them before. But the first one we're going to talk about today is Kahoot. So Kahoot is like, it's got all kinds of cool little games, but basically what it does, it allows students to access an online gaming platform where you can put in questions, they can answer them, and it keeps track of them. It can be competitive if you want it to be. It can be sort of a fun little end of day or an exit slip activity. There's lots of ways that you can use this, and I'm sure as you see when we go through it, there's lots of fun stuff to do. So first of all, let's look at a quiz. So when we do a little quiz on Kahoot, we can set this up. We can set it up as test, and put a little description in if we want. Visible to everybody, the language we're going to use, and the audience that we're going to use. So we can call this a school audience. And so we've got the school here, and then credit resources, and we can put a little intro video if we want to. That's okay. We're not going to do all that stuff. Oh, I got to put in a description. A quick quiz, if I can spell it right. And we'll go, okay, go. Maybe later. Okay, so here we go. So add a question. So I can come in here and I can put in, and it's as quick and as simple as this. So a question is the water in the ocean reflects light and appears to be blank. We can put a time limit in here. We can put in a couple of different answers. Red. Let's try this again. Blue. Green. And black. We can identify that number 2 is the right answer by clicking on it, and you see it comes up here. And so from here, I can say this is the only question I want, or I can add another question. I can do all kinds of stuff. So if I wanted to add another question, I simply go next. And so I can add another question, or I can give this Kahoot right now. So to do this with my students, all I'm going to do is come in here, and okay, this is already done, so we're going to save it. That's right, so we got to go back here. So we can play it. So now what you see is that my Kahoot shows up. I can do this in classic mode for players. The one thing that's difficult with Kahoot is that every player or every student has to have their own device, a digital device connected to a network. So that could be a mobile phone, could be a computer, could be really anything. But Kahoot's been pretty cool. They've been out on doing some thinking, and what they've done is they figured that not every classroom has a one-to-one setup, but maybe there are classrooms where you have one iPad or laptop or phone for every 2 or 3 students. So if you were in a high school setting, you might be able to find some students who had that kind of stuff. So we're going to play it in classic mode though, one-to-one devices, and we're going to hit start. So the students get out their phone. So then what they have to do is they have to come over to kahoot.it, put in the game PIN number, which is 2176354. I'm just going to play along. So I'm playing both as a teacher and a student. 2176354. Hit enter. And so now I put in my nickname, and that's going to be my nickname, and I am in. So now if I come in here, this is my Kahoot screen that as a teacher I would have up in the classroom. You can see that Jeff has signed in. So now I know that once I get all my students signed in, they all see their names, we can start. So as I hit start, I'm going to click back over here to the test side, to the student side, and you can see it's loading up. Question 1 is coming in 3, 2, 1. And so on the screen, they see this. The water in the ocean reflects light and appears to be blank. I'm going to click blue is the answer. So over here on my screen as a student, I just have to select blue. And it tells me that I had 676 points from that. Now the points come from a combination of correct answers and speed. So you can, if you have a bunch of students, then we hit next so everybody's in, you can see here that it's going to give you a list of your top scorers, so it can be a little bit competitive. The students like that. So you can see the top scorers. You can hide all that, by the way, if you don't want it to be a competitive game, or if you only want to see the answers, you can actually do that as well. So it can be a fun little competitive thing for you to do. So Kahoot's a really cool little thing. Now, the neat thing about this is that you could be doing a unit in science, and you're not quite sure what your students are ready for yet. So you can use this as kind of a pre-test activity. You can use this as kind of that formative assessment piece. So you can decide where you want to go next in your classroom with your instruction and learning. So there's a lot of really cool ways that you can do this. If you come back to the Kahoot, we can come here to get results. You can see that we're all in here. And so I'm going to come back to create a Kahoot. I'm done. And let's go back to our page. So you can see here that I can have saved Kahoots. There are lots of public Kahoots. In fact, there's 14 million of them. You can go in and find a Kahoot that somebody else has already done up on just about any topic. So that's pretty cool. And the neat thing is that there's a whole bunch of different things. So if let's say I want to create a new one, now they have a new game called Jumble. You can do discussions on Kahoot as well and do little surveys. So there's lots of cool little things. But the Jumble one is kind of cool. So let's do the same thing. Just quick quiz. I'm just going to put in here testing. Everyone, it's going to be a school. And we're going to say, okay, go. We're going to add a Jumble question. So the sky is blank, 60 seconds, award. The answers could be red, blue, green, and black. And depending on the time of day, that could be the way it is. So you can see here that what it's going to do, it's going to present it in just a different kind of way. So let's play it again. And this time we'll play it as shared devices. It's just loading up. So let's play it in team mode as a shared device. Oh, can't do that in team mode yet. Guess not. So we're going to play it in Kahoot or in the standard mode. And we are going to start. So coming back to the Kahoot here. Going to do away with the IT. We're going to enter the new game pin because every pin you play, 1182264, every game you play, you get a new pin. So you have to keep putting that up. And so now we're going to come over here. Okay, go. And now you see that Jeff is in on this game. We're going to play start. And so it's going to present itself just a little differently. So it's going to present itself as we have to put these in order. So back here on the thing, the sky is, so we want to put blue as our answer. And so we're going to put it right there. Oh, I forgot to put them in order. So it's made for more of ranking things, sorry. And then I hit Kahoot and wait for the other players. So my answer was incorrect because I didn't, as a teacher, put in the actual order that I wanted them to be in. So I would have to fix that up next time. So you can see how Kahoot is played. It's got lots of different options for you. The big challenge for playing something like Kahoot is to make sure every one of your students has a device, or at least a device they can share in team mode to be able to play. So Socrative is very similar to Kahoot. So Socrative, and we'll go here to the Socrative homepage, and you can see here that there's going to be teacher logins and student logins. I'm going to log in as a teacher because I do have an account. By the way, both of these are free, so you don't have to pay anything for this. So you can see here that I'm logged in now as Jeff. And once I make an account, I'm actually assigned a room number. Whereas with Kahoot, every individual game you start is given a new pin. In Socrative, you as a teacher are given a room number. So my room number is 68000. Easy for my students to remember. Yours might not be so easy. But when you come in here, you can set up games. So I'm going to launch a quiz. And let's come in here, quiz. So you see here I've got some different quizzes in here. So let's just start this little demo quiz. I'm going to come in here, choose the delivery method. So there's instant feedback, open navigation, teacher pace. So instant feedback, what it does is students can go along their own pace, but as they answer questions, it gives them the feedback. It tells them whether they're right or wrong. Open navigation simply allows them to move along at their own pace but won't give them any feedback. Teacher pace allows you to control the exposure of the question. So it's very much like Kahoot, where you say, okay, here's question 1, everybody answers it. So there's different ways that you can start this. We'll start with instant feedback and go through that. So you can see here that I've actually had this game open. So I had been playing it. You can get reports, view charts, and I'm going to go back to the launch. And let's try this one instead. And we'll try instant feedback. You can see here you can put so that the settings require names. You can have it so that the questions get shuffled and the answers get shuffled. The final score comes back to students. So you can actually, and I hate to say this, and I hate to even insinuate that this could happen, but you could actually run a test on this. If you were a traditional, looking for a sort of a traditional quiz, you could set them up, and so the kids would actually get their feedback right away. That instantaneous feedback, it will mark it for you, do the whole thing. Not exactly my cup of tea, but if that's something that you wanted to do, you can certainly do that. So you can launch any of those kinds of questions. You can set them up as true, false, multiple choice, short answer questions. So if I wanted to put up a quick one, a quick true, false question, if we were having a discussion in class and you just wanted to gauge what students were around you were thinking or whether they were getting it, then you could do that. Or you were doing a little survey and wanted to put up some multiple choice questions, you could do that as well. Again, every student who participates, or you can work in groups if you want, you can actually, they will need each a device to be able to really effectively do this particular, use this particular tool in your classroom. So Socrative and Kahoot are are kind of very similar. Kahoot's kind of more fun. Socrative is a little more serious, but Socrative will give you a lot more data tracking at the end because it will actually, well, both of them will, but Socrative will keep track of all your students, and you actually have a room where all that data is being kept, whereas in Kahoot, the data is a little more dispersed around and you have to go looking at it for each individual student. So the last one I wanted to show you today is Plickers. Now Plickers, I'm not sure if some, I know some classrooms are using these. I'm going to come back to the Plickers homepage so you can see it. So basically what Plickers is, it's like Kahoot and Socrative, where students are giving individual responses back to you very quickly, but they're doing it in a different way. They're doing it without each of them having a device. So this requires each student to have, instead of a device, we only need one device. It can from the teacher. So it can be a phone, it can be an iPad, it could be another kind of tablet. So any kind of mobile device, Android or iOS, you can use as your scanning device. Then you notice here, and it's kind of faded, but each one of these students is holding up a card, and that card has a QR code, or what looks like a QR code on it, and that's those square codes with the digital matrix. And so that QR code is unique to each individual. So each individual has their own card that's numbered 1 through 20 or 25 or 30 or however many students you have in your class. And so that number becomes their card. So they always use, let's say, number 17 as a student. It will track all my answers that I've ever done with card number 17. And I can give answers, up to 4 different answers, depending on which way I'm holding my card. So if I'm holding it with the, and there's letters A, B, C, or D, depending on the orientation, but which way I orient my card and hold it up will give a different answer, A, B, C, or D. So it looks very similar to Socrative and Kahoot from the teacher's point of view, but from the student's point of view, they don't need that, that digital device. They can simply hold up their card and answer back. I really like this at K-5 or even K-8 because you know, the technology in schools is not always readily available. This allows every student to participate equally and individually, and you don't need any kind of technology other than one device for the teachers. And it allows you to create classes. So I can come in here, you can look, and I've got a bunch of different classes created with, I think there's 20 students in each one. And you can see, oh, maybe 28 students in each one. And you can see here that I can go up to 63 students per class. So there's 63 different Plicker cards. The Plicker cards, there's nothing unique about them. Your class set will look the same as my class set, will look the same as somebody else's class set. Numbers 1 through 63 are all the same. Each one of them has a unique code on them, a unique configuration. But your number 33 will look the same as my number 33. So you can just print them and reuse them. So even if classes, if you have a set for, but you have a number of classes coming into your classroom, as long as the students pick up the right one, they will always be registered as number 6 for Jimmy. So as long as Jimmy's using a card number 6, he'll get his answers and they'll be right. So you can see here that I can create new classes. And let's go to the live view just for a quick second. We're kind of running out of time. So what I would do is to start my clickers. I would come into my iOS and actually project it to my class. So my class sees what's on the live view here. So I'm going to come in here to the library. And you see here that I've got a question. I've got a bunch of questions, and I can run those individually. I can put them all together and run them as a sequence, however I'd like to do it. But let's say I want to run this question right now. So we're going to add it to the queue of the demo class. And right now, we're going to start that on demo class. And so now we're going to come to the classes. Actually, I can't do it now because I actually have to start it from my thing, from my digital device that I'd be using to survey. So, but you get the idea. You can really, and this is really cool. It's really easy and it's really simple for you to use. If you want to print out a class set, here's the cards portion. And so you can print out standard cards. It prints out 2 cards for 40 cards, 2 cards per sheet, and then you just cut them. You can also expanded cards, which puts 2 cards per sheet. And if you're in sometimes in a larger class or a larger auditorium, or you're working with sort of smaller or younger students, sometimes the larger cards are bigger, and you can print them 1 per card. So 1 card per 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And what a lot of teachers do is they laminate them. So as soon as they print them out, they laminate them, and then you've got the cards already printed, and it makes them a little more durable. But if you happen to damage one, you can print one out just for another set. Really simple and easy, just by coming in here, clicking on the expanded, and it brings up a PDF, and you can see here that you can print these clicker cards out and give them to your students. So this is what one of them looks like. This is card number 8, or student number 8. Orientation: if the answer is A, he would hold it up and face it to you this way. If the answer is B, she would hold it up and just flip the card around so that the letter B is facing up. Same with C, same with D. So there's lots of different options here for you in terms of using plickers in your classroom. Again, great especially for younger kids who really may not have the kinds of access to technology that some of our older students might have. So that is Tech20 Tuesday for today. Just a reminder, if you're looking for help or support on any of these, the ASDW Technology Lead Team is available at your service. Waylon Dixon up in Woodstock, Janice Shaw, Wendy Thomas out in Oromocto, and Carm Desjardins has Fredericton South. So all the Fredericton schools on the south side of the river. I have Fredericton schools on the north side of the river, including the 4 schools or 5 schools on the north side of the river that are actually part of the OEC. But for our purposes, those schools, anything in the city of Fredericton and north to Keswick Valley and Doketown, Boys Town are mine. So if you're looking for support, get back to us and just let us know. We'll come in and help you get any of the stuff going that you want to get going. That is Tech20 Tuesday for today. My name's Jeff Whipple, and hopefully we'll see you again next week on Tech20 Tuesday. Thanks for dropping by.